As you walk through your home, take a moment to look around at the things that surround you. It's easy to accumulate items over the years, especially as time goes by, but there comes a point where it's important to ask yourself, do I really need all of this? Have you ever stopped to consider how much unnecessary stuff is just taking up space? When we get older, the way we look at our homes can change. Things that once served a purpose or brought joy can now feel more like a burden. Clutter, piles of stuff that no longer hold the value they once did. Maybe you've noticed that certain areas of your house feel cramped or overwhelming, and every time you look around, it's like you're tripping over something else. Maybe it's the old furniture, or the piles of clothes you never wear, or the outdated gadgets in your kitchen. We get attached to these things over time. Maybe because they hold memories, maybe because it feels easier to hold on than let go. But the truth is, all that clutter can weigh us down more than we realize. It can impact how we feel about our home and, ultimately, our lives. When your space feels cramped or chaotic, it can make everything feel harder, even the simple things. It's not about getting rid of everything. It's about making choices that serve you and your needs now. That's why I want to talk to you about decluttering before you turn 70. It's not just about clearing out physical space. It's about creating a home that works for you today, not a home that's stuck in the past. Let's talk about some of the things that can create unnecessary clutter in your life. Whether it's furniture, old clothes, and used kitchen gadgets or sentimental items, these things can slowly pile up and take over. By letting go of the things that no longer serve a purpose, you're giving yourself the gift of space and freedom. And hey, if you're still watching and you feel like this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment and let me know what's cluttering your life, and if you think it's time to let go of a few things. 1. Furniture you no longer use or need. Let's talk about something that's often one of the hardest things to part with: furniture. We all have that one piece, a couch, an armchair, or maybe even a dining table that's been around for years. It holds memories, it's been through a lot with you, and it might feel like part of the family. But here's the thing. Just because something has been with you for a long time doesn't mean it still works for you. I know it's tough. You might feel a sense of loyalty or comfort toward these pieces. But when you start noticing that your furniture is becoming worn out, uncomfortable, or simply doesn't suit your lifestyle anymore, it might be time to consider a change. We often keep old furniture just out of habit or sentimentality, without realizing that it's actually taking up precious space in our homes. And that space could be better used. Maybe the couch that once brought comfort now makes your back ache. Or the dining table that used to be the centerpiece of family meals is now too big for your needs, taking up valuable space in your living room. It's easy to get used to things like that, to overlook how much they really impact your daily life. But over time, the discomfort can add up. Not just physically, but emotionally too, as you start feeling burdened by all the stuff that no longer serves you. Think about it. You don't need to keep a bulky sofa just because it's been in the family for years, especially if it's making you feel cramped in your own living space. You don't need to hang on to that dining table that's too big for your needs and only collects dust. Instead, consider a few simple changes. Maybe you could downsize to a more comfortable, more practical piece of furniture. Something that fits your current lifestyle better and makes your home feel lighter, more spacious. It's not about giving up memories. It's about creating a home that fits your life today. So, if you find yourself surrounded by furniture that's no longer doing its job, whether it's causing discomfort or taking up too much space, maybe it's time to think about how you can downsize, repurpose, or even donate those pieces to someone else who might find joy in them. It's all about creating room for the things that bring you peace and comfort now. And remember, you don't need to do it all at once. Start small. Maybe start with one chair or one table and see how that feels. You might find that letting go of the old makes room for something new, something that truly fits your needs. So, take a moment to look around at the furniture in your home. Ask yourself, does it still bring me joy or comfort? Does it fit my lifestyle today? If not, it might be time to let it go and make space for what truly works for you. 2. Clothing you no longer wear. Clothes, they can take up so much space, and over time, they seem to multiply on their own, don't they? Whether it's that fancy dress you've worn only once, or those jeans you swore you'd fit back into but never did, clothing tends to pile up without us even realizing it. The closet starts overflowing, drawers become hard to close, And suddenly, you're left with a sea of clothes you rarely, if ever, wear. I get it, there's a sense of attachment. Some clothes carry memories of special occasions, or maybe you spent a lot of money on something that now feels outdated. But here's the truth. Holding on to clothing that no longer fits, suits you, or makes you feel good is just adding unnecessary clutter to your life. It's taking up space in your closet, in your drawers, and in your mind. Every time you open that closet and see a sea of things you'll never wear, it's a reminder of what no longer serves you. If you think about it, your closet should be a reflection of who you are today, not who you were 5 or 10 years ago. And more importantly, it should be filled with pieces that bring you joy and confidence, not guilt or frustration. So, why not go through that closet and get rid of the items that no longer serve you? You might find that as you let go of those clothes, you feel a sense of relief, like you're making room for something new, something that fits your current self, not your past self. Now, I know it's not always easy. Some of those clothes might have sentimental value, or maybe you feel guilty because you spent money on them. But here's the thing, donating clothes you no longer wear is a gift to someone else. Someone else could get real use out of that sweater that's been sitting in your closet for years. And the best part? You get the freedom of a more organized, breathable closet. And you'll have space for the pieces that truly fit your life now. Start small. Maybe pick a drawer or a shelf and begin there. Go through everything, and as you do, ask yourself, do I wear this? Does it still fit? Do I feel good when I wear it? If the answer is no, it's time to say goodbye. You can donate, sell, or repurpose what you no longer need, but make sure to let go of what's just taking up space. Remember, decluttering your clothing doesn't mean getting rid of everything. It's about creating a wardrobe that's manageable, that represents your current style, and that gives you the freedom to enjoy getting dressed every day. So, when you look at your closet next time, think about how you can make it work for you, by filling it with only the clothes that truly make you feel good, and letting go of the rest. 3. Expired toiletries and medications. Now, let's talk about something many of us tend to overlook. Expired toiletries and medications. Over time, these items can clutter up your cabinets and drawers, taking up valuable space and contributing to unnecessary stress. And the thing is, they're not just taking up space, they can actually be harmful if kept too long. Medications, especially, are something you want to be extra cautious about. They lose their potency over time, and sometimes they can even become dangerous. It might seem like a hassle to go through old bottles and throw things out, but trust me, it's well worth it for your health. When's the last time you really checked the expiration dates on your medications? If you're like most people, it's probably been a while. It's easy to forget, but old medications can be ineffective at best and risky at worst. And toiletries? Well, they don't last forever either. That bottle of lotion you bought years ago, the shampoo that's been sitting and used for months, or even the makeup you've had lying around. These things can lose their effectiveness, and even worse, they can harbor bacteria or cause skin reactions. I know it can be hard to let go of things you've invested in, but it's much better to make room for fresh products that actually serve you. Let's be real, you don't need to keep a stockpile of things you're never going to use. Think about it this way, you're not only cleaning up your physical space, but you're also clearing up mental space. The thought of having to search through outdated products or medications can be stressful. So, take a moment to open those cabinets, check those drawers, and get rid of anything past its prime. What can you do with the expired medications? It's simple. Take them to a local pharmacy or follow proper disposal instructions to make sure they're disposed of safely. As for your toiletries, toss the ones that have expired and donate any that are still good but you just don't need. It's a small step, but it makes a big difference in creating a more organized, clean, and peaceful space in your home. When you remove the clutter of expired items, you not only make space for the things you actually use, but also make your daily routines that much easier. And with fewer things to sift through, finding what you need becomes effortless. Plus, there's nothing like the peace of mind that comes from knowing your health and skincare products are fresh, safe, and effective. So go ahead, take a moment to purge those outdated toiletries and medications. You'll be amazed at how much better it feels to have an organized and clutter-free space. Plus, your future self will thank you for it. 4. Old papers, documents, magazines, manuals, mail. It's easy to fall into the trap of keeping old papers. Those piles of documents, magazines, expired tax returns, and miscellaneous mail that stack up over the years. We all have them. Files that accumulate, taking up space and making it hard to find what's really important when you need it. As we get older, the last thing we want is to feel overwhelmed by paper clutter. But we often hold on to things just in case, or because we don't know if we'll need them again. But here's the truth. The majority of that paperwork isn't serving you. Most of it is just clutter taking up space in your home and mind. Let's start with old tax returns. If you've kept every tax return from the 1980s, for example, it's likely not necessary anymore. The IRS only requires that you keep tax documents for up to 7 years, so you can get rid of those years-old returns with peace of mind. But there are always those documents we can't quite part with. Insurance papers, legal documents, old contracts. These are the things that really matter. The trick is learning how to organize and keep what's important while letting go of the rest. Take a deep breath. It's okay to get rid of the outdated paperwork. Start by sorting through the piles of old magazines, manuals for appliances you no longer own, and those stacks of mail. Most of it can be shredded or recycled. You don't need to hold on to everything. By holding on to outdated documents, you're just making it harder to find the important stuff when you need it. Now, here's a suggestion. Consider digitizing important documents. Many financial institutions, insurance companies, and even medical offices offer digital records, so you don't have to store physical copies. If you're worried about losing the documents you've accumulated, simply scan them into your computer or cloud storage system. It's a great way to stay organized and keep everything safe without taking up any physical space. Plus, accessing your important papers will be much easier when they're stored digitally. One of the easiest ways to tackle this is by setting aside time to go through these documents once and for all. You don't need to do it all in one go. Start small, maybe a drawer at a time. When you sort through old bills and unnecessary paperwork, you'll be amazed at how much space you'll free up. And most importantly, the next time you need something, whether it's an insurance policy, medical document, or tax paper, you'll know exactly where it is. Think of it this way. When you reduce the paper clutter, you're not just making more physical space in your home, you're also creating mental space. You're eliminating the stress of piles and stacks, and instead, you'll feel more in control of your environment. Now, I know it's not always easy to part with things that have sentimental value, like old letters or cards. But remember, those things are often taking up space without adding real value. If they're not serving you anymore, don't be afraid to let them go. In the end, the goal is to create an organized and peaceful living space where you know where everything is, and you can easily find what you need. It'll feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders, and your life will feel a little less cluttered. So go ahead, take a look through your papers, and get rid of the unnecessary ones. You'll be glad you did. 5. Kitchen items. The kitchen is often one of the most cluttered areas of the home. Over the years, it's easy to accumulate items that no longer serve any purpose. Whether it's kitchen gadgets you bought on a whim, extra plates you thought you might need, or a drawer full of mismatched lids with no containers to match, all of this can build up and make your kitchen feel cramped and disorganized. It's hard to ignore the pile of appliances gathering dust in your kitchen cabinets. How many blenders, food processors, or even that bread maker that you used once and never touched again? We often buy these things thinking they'll make life easier, but if you're not using them regularly, they're just taking up valuable space. And then there are the plates and glasses. We all have sets that we rarely use. Some might have even been part of a set you thought you'd need for special occasions. But when was the last time you actually pulled them out? If the answer is years, it's time to ask yourself, do I really need this? Take a moment to think about how much time you spend in your kitchen. Is it cluttered with unused items that make it harder to find the things you actually use? If your kitchen feels like it's bursting at the seams with too many gadgets, it's a sign that it might be time to let go of some of them. The same goes for food. Over the years, you may have accumulated a stockpile of canned goods or spices, only to realize that they've expired or you don't even use them anymore. It's easy to buy something and think, I'll use it someday. But when it comes to food, someday often never comes. Expired food takes up space and, worse, can create unnecessary mess or even unpleasant odors. So, How do we begin the process of decluttering the kitchen? Start by taking a hard look at everything you own. Is there anything that hasn't been used in a while? A gadget that you thought you needed but it's just sitting there, gathering dust? An appliance that hasn't been touched in years? These items can go. Next, check your pantry. Pull out all the food you've been holding on to. If it's expired or you haven't used it in the last year, it's time to toss it. It's not just about food safety, it's about making space for what you truly need. Your pantry and fridge should only hold items that you regularly use. You can also simplify by reducing duplicates. Do you really need 6 coffee mugs when you only use 2? Or a dozen plates when 4 are enough for your family or guests? Reducing these duplicates will make your kitchen feel more spacious and organized. One thing to consider is that keeping a clutter-free kitchen can make cooking and cleaning so much easier. Without excess gadgets and appliances, you can quickly grab what you need without searching through piles. Cooking becomes simpler, and cleaning up after a meal takes less time because you're not having to move a bunch of stuff out of the way. And when it comes to those special plates or fancy glassware, you can hold onto the things that truly bring joy. If there's a set of dishes that you really love and use often, keep those. But if they're only taking up space and rarely used, it might be time to part with them. The key is to keep only what serves you. Your kitchen should work for you, not against you. By removing the clutter and only keeping what's truly needed, you create a space where cooking becomes a joy rather than a chore. At the end of the day, the more streamlined your kitchen is, the more enjoyable it becomes to spend time there. You'll be able to access everything you need easily, and your kitchen will feel fresher and more inviting. Letting go of things you no longer need is a step toward living a simpler, more peaceful life. So take the time to go through your kitchen and clear out the clutter. You'll thank yourself every time you enter that space. 6. Sentimental items taking up space. Sentimental items are some of the most difficult things to declutter. Whether it's a box of old letters, gifts from loved ones, or souvenirs from family vacations, these objects are tied to our memories and emotions. It's easy to hold on to them, thinking that letting go means we're forgetting those special moments or the people who gave them to us. But the truth is, holding on to too many sentimental items can weigh you down, leaving you with a cluttered space and a sense of being overwhelmed by the past. As we get older, we often find ourselves with a collection of keepsakes that we've accumulated over the years. Items that once brought us joy, but now just take up space. Maybe it's a stack of greeting cards from birthdays long ago, or toys and trinkets that were once precious to our children or grandchildren. We might keep these things because we don't want to lose the memory attached to them, or perhaps because we feel guilty about letting go of something that was given to us with love. But it's important to remember that memories live within us, not in objects. Letting go of things doesn't erase the memory of a loved one or an important event. It simply frees up space for new memories and a clearer, lighter living space. Think of it this way. When we keep everything, the memories can get lost in the clutter. And sometimes, having too many items can make us feel weighed down, rather than bring us joy. Consider Sophia's story. At 79, she had boxes and boxes of old family photos, letters from her parents, and trinkets from her travels. Over the years, these items had piled up in a spare room, making her home feel more crowded than cozy. Sophia's attachment to these objects was strong. Each one reminded her of a time and place that was important to her. But as she looked around, she realized that many of these things hadn't been touched in years. They were just sitting there, taking up space and making her home feel more cluttered. So, Sophia took a deep breath and began the process of sorting through these sentimental items. She asked herself, "Does this bring me joy? Is this something I'll look back at often?" The process wasn't easy, but she started by keeping only a few truly meaningful items. The letters from her mother, a few favorite photos, and a couple of souvenirs that brought back cherished memories. The rest, she either donated, gave away to family, or took photos of the items she wanted to remember but didn't need to keep physically. By the end, Sophia felt a sense of relief she hadn't expected. Letting go of the clutter didn't mean she was erasing her memories. It simply meant that her memories were no longer buried under piles of things. She could now focus on enjoying her home and the present, without being overwhelmed by the past. And that's the beauty of decluttering sentimental items. It allows us to create space for new experiences and to appreciate the things that truly matter. If you're holding on to sentimental items that no longer serve you, it's okay to let go. It doesn't mean you're forgetting the past. It means you're making room for the present and future. Ask yourself, what truly brings me joy? And hold on to those things. You don't need a closet full of memories to keep the spirit of those moments alive. Whether it's a special gift, a family heirloom, or a few meaningful photographs, keeping only the things that truly hold significance will help you honor the past while making space for the life you're living now. Letting go can feel freeing, and it's an essential part of creating a home that feels calm and manageable. So take a moment to go through your sentimental items and ask yourself, do these things still bring you the happiness they once did? If not, it might be time to let go, allowing you to cherish the memories in your heart, where they'll always remain while clearing out the physical space around you. Decluttering is more than just tidying up. It's about creating a space that supports the life you want to live. As we move through life, especially as we age, the things we accumulate can start to feel like burdens instead of blessings. The furniture, the clothing, the gadgets, and even the sentimental items that have been with us for years, they can all take up precious space both physically and mentally. But when we choose to let go of the things that no longer serve us, we're making room for what truly matters. It's not just about cleaning out closets or organizing drawers. It's about freeing ourselves from the weight of unnecessary things so that we can live more freely. Every item you release from your home opens up space for more joy, more energy, and more clarity in your life. So take a moment to think about the things in your own home. Which of them no longer serve you? What's just taking up space? And what truly brings value to your life? Remember, it's okay to let go. Whether it's outdated furniture, clothes you don't wear, and used kitchen gadgets, or even sentimental items that are just gathering dust. Every step you take toward decluttering is a step toward a lighter, more peaceful existence. If you felt inspired by this message, share with us in the comments which areas you plan to declutter next. It's always powerful to hear how others are creating space in their lives and homes for what matters most. Thanks for taking the time to reflect on this with us. Here's to a home that's not only clean but full of purpose and joy.